We are back in Kintara, trying to find an assassin. I actually want to try again to lockpick the vase, that woman's vase. Well, elves have been more friendly to Mr. Dixon than Mr. Dixon himself would have actually expected. She's still there, so we just have to wait some more other time. Just don't mind us. It's still jammed? Are you kidding me? Gar. Did you guys did you find something? Ooh. This vial still has traces of the poison in it once contained. Let's see. Let's wait for her. Actually, let's see if Jormund has something to say about it. There is actually, now that I remember this quest a little bit better, there is actually a very cool way to solve it, but you have to be a mage, possibly a necromancer, and is Jormund this way? Yes, and or you could have a scroll of a certain spell, and it's really cool what happens, but I don't think Mr. Dixon could pull it off. And where would you even find a scroll of Conjure Dead or Conjure Spirit? I have no idea. Maybe in Tarant. Nah. Proof you need to convict Sharp. I don't know. It could have been her. Why Sharp? Him. I mean, it could have been her doing this, right? How do I know it was Sharp himself? This quest is a little bit obscure and... Hey, I told you to leave me alone. I have nothing to say to you. Please leave. Okay. So she didn't even notice what we did. We don't have anybody else to talk about this. So I think we are going to leave for Tarant at this point. I don't think Mr. Dixon feels sure. I thought I could talk to her again and she would say something. But hey, I'm mistaken. Not a big problem. We are going to Tarant regardless. We will be talking with Mr. Willoughby finally, and we are taking Swift to see the town, right? Okay. I hope she doesn't die while we are getting there. Okay, we're good. Haven't met any pesky Moloch hand people. That is very weird. I'm surprised. Oh, it's orcs then. Fine, just die. You see, Swift? It was a very smooth travel. Oh, I forgot to loot him. Don't really care. Thank you for bringing me here. I suppose I'll be on my way. Here's the coin I promised you. Thank you. You will eventually find your way, I suppose, to Madame Lille. I just can't. Mr.Dixon, you're such an idiot. What is the title of today? Strange Occurrences in Asbury. We already read that. Mr. Willoughby. Well, where would he be? His house was this here, right? I think, I don't remember actually, but I think that whenever you're ready to become a master in persuasion, he actually shows up. Maybe I'm wrong. This one, Ranford A. Terwilliger, author and historian. See? I remember just fine, I remember right. So we're going to the archives. I know there is something about him there. I don't really remember if I read all of it, all of the article. We need to get our hands on that newspaper. Regardless. Okay, what was it? Okay, here. Fine. I hope it's still open. I hope she's happy now. I could have stolen it again, but unlocked it again, but come on. Is it possible for you to find an obituary for me? That is within my abilities. Would you please provide for me the name of the deceased and the date of their passing? So, Ranford A. Terwilliger. He died on 5/11/1804. Okay. Ah, yes, here we are. 5/11/1804. Ranford A. Terwilliger, author of Zenang Horror Among the Dark Elves, was found dead in his home today. His death appears to have occurred amongst mysterious circumstances. The authorities are calling for further investigation. Oh my, what a dreadful incident. Oh, she didn't actually give me the newspaper? I thought she would. No. Are there any books contained in your archives? If it is books you are in search of, you should view the library of Tarant. They have an extensive collection. Yes, I know about that, but okay. The book must be somewhere, right? Oh god. I actually got it now. The leaves might be the pages of this book. Huh. Hey, hey. Zenang, Horror Among the Dark Elves. Do you have it? Zenang, Horror Among the Dark Elves sounds spooky. Yeah, does the library have it? Wait here a moment. I'll go and look. I'm sorry, sir, but I was not able to find the Zenang, Horror Among the Dark Elves. However, I did find another book that may be of interest to you. What book? The book is titled Curse of Zenang. It appears to be a book about the one you are searching for. Wow. That's... may I check it out? Yes, of course, sir. She hands you the book. Thank you. Is there anything else I can assist you in locating? No, thanks. Oh, God. Guys, do we have anything to deposit here? We have stuff to sell, alright, but... Nope. So, let's see. The Curse of Zenang by Kendrick Wells. In the following pages, I, Kendrick Wells, will attempt to explain in the plainest words possible the mystery surrounding Renford A. Terwilliger and his controversial work known as Horror Among the Dark Elves. Many of the stories I will present to you are both strange and frightening, but I give you my word as an author and a scholar that they are the truth. Decide yourself after the facts are presented whether or not you dare to believe them. Renford A. Terwilliger was born in 1750. His fabled trip to the Glimmering Forest was made in 1768. His 18th year, he was indeed, as per his book, accompanied by an elven tracker named Jaren Benal. Records housed within the Tarant Zoological Society validate this fact. Mr. Benal was never heard from nor seen again after the expedition to Kintarra. As for Mr. Terwilliger's account of his adventures in the elven city of Kintarra, or his supposed discovery of the mythical Zenang, no one can be sure. Most scholars and collectors of literature assume that Mr. Terwilliger's book is a work of fiction, and as such fantastical literature was all the rage at that time. I might be inclined to agree, yet one must only look upon the events following the publication of Horror Among the Dark Elves to see that he very well may have found something deep within the glimmering that was never ever meant to be found. There were very few copies of the book ever published. The records concerning the initial print run are scarce, but it is believed that no more than 100 were ever released to the public. 4 days after the book was shipped to Tarantian bookstores, the factory that printed it was burned to the ground. The owner, a Mr. Jeremiah Gomes, was found in his home brutally murdered by an unknown assailant. The 4 bookstores that had purchased the volume for sale in Tarant suffered the same fate. Only 15 copies of the book were sold before the final store was destroyed. Those 15 copies became an immediate collector's item. Enormous sums of money were paid for the remaining volumes. After a few months, the books had fallen into various respected collections across Arcanum. Each and every one of the owners of the books began to complain of strange happenings once the book was in their possession. All of them told of frightening noises and visions, shadowy figures following them wherever they went, unexplained illnesses and untimely deaths. Many attributed this to paranoia, a trite brand of sensationalism to create an even greater demand for the book. Unfortunately, their fears were all too justified. All of them were dead within 5 years of the initial publication. Their volumes either stolen, burned, or disfigured beyond recognition. Indeed, they had suffered what came to be known as the Curse of Zenang. Mr. Terwilliger, strangely enough, lived a relatively long life. Cursed in his own way to witness the evil fruits of his labor, so he didn't die. I mean, I didn't die violently. That's incredibly weird. He saw himself as the cause of these horrors and wrote extensively of it within his memoirs. The following is an excerpt from them, only days before he died in his sleep. I will never forgive myself for what I have unleashed upon the world. Had I the courage, I would travel again to the Glimmering and unleash holy vengeance upon those evil creatures that have plagued our fair land and its peoples. Alas, I no longer have the strength nor the power, and now there is only my own end that I pray for every day. Until just a few short months ago, it was thought that there were no remaining copies of horror among the Dark Elves. After an exhaustive investigation, I have found that this is not at all the case. The last known copy of the book, owned by the famed book collector Mr. Philip Misk, was thought to have perished with its owner in a fire almost 50 years ago. Now, with new evidence presented by a reliable source, I have discovered that Mr. Misk's son, Victor Misk of Caladon, still has the copy in his possession, and is hiding it for fear that the curse will again visit his family. I pray that the evil let loose in the Glimmering has finally been put to rest. And I pray Mr. Misk and his family avoid the fate that has befallen every other soul who has challenged the curse of Zenan. Well, you basically... whoever is perpetrating the curse, if it's a curse perpetrated by somebody, then you just told that somebody where Mr. Misk is, right? Okay. So, Caladon? I think Raven mentioned something about Caladon. This is not the end. The lady at the archives will have to bear with me. Again. Milady? I say, you're the man that survived the crash of the Zephyr. I read about it in the news I did. Yeah, can you help me locate somebody? Nope. I wonder if this guy is dead. I don't remember. I don't think he is. The guy who actually wrote this other book. Okay, I'm gonna take that with me. I want to know if this person is in Tarant, but I don't seem to be able to. Can you tell me how many years of census has been kept? It is an unfortunate circumstance that an accurate census of the civilized continent has only been kept for the last 20 years. However, it should be noted that for Tarant we have records dating back as much as 200 years. What do you mean by civilized? Oh, but please pardon me, good sir, it was not my intention to offend. Please allow me to offer an explanation. Census records are kept exclusively for the cities and larger kingdoms. As of this date, no one has endeavored to take a census of the fringe, that being the like of Helven villages or Chishords and outlying Halfling villages. Yeah, I understand that, I'm not offended, but you cannot help me. I wonder how many days can I keep this book. I don't think Bates has anything to say. But maybe he knows who this guy is. He might know people.
Returned. Tell me.
No, he might not know people. Fine. This Mr. Kendrick. Who is Mr. Kendrick? Is he alive? Virgil.
What is it that you want of me? What can I answer for you?
What should we do now?
We need to find Caledon. I'm sorry to say I don't know where it is. Down south somewhere?
Okay, you want to go to Caledon. Okay, so we are going to sell our stuff and then we will be going to Caledon, I suppose. It's still unlocked. What the actual... Yeah, it's too early. You should be able to distract that guard, Virgil. It's so annoyed that I can't access the windows. I know they are the other way around, but oh god. Don't notice me, come on. The guys are distracting him. You can open these windows, but well, we could go out from... No, no, don't get out. No! Don't get out from the window, are you kidding me? Good God. I'm trying to do it right, you know. Okay. So we can get out from there. And we need to get to that thing. Okay. Oh, come on. Don't give me that rubbish. Aha, enough of water. Hey. Run, run, run. Mr. Dixon, you actually managed. Hey, milady. Anything happening? A patron of the underground is interested in obtaining a vial of venom from the Lathe Wyvern. Some say that the Zoological Society has such rarities in their stores. Oh, really? Oh, but I cannot give you the perfume right now. Do I have to go to the fence to actually... Yeah, that's probably where I have to go. I'm a burglar. Mr. Dixon. Hey. It's unlocked. It's open during the night? Are you kidding me? These people never go to sleep. Oh, these are the orcs. Yeah, it's probably inside that. I can't pull this off. This is... no. This is too much. I'm going to fence whatever I have, and that's it. As I've said before, we cannot do the debates quest because I have sold the schematic, or I left the schematic somewhere already, so my bad. I didn't remember that that was an item for the Thieves Guild, the Thieves Underground. And then we have that Zoological Society thing. Come on, Mr. Dixon. I'm not sure, maybe I have to fence them here, right? I don't even remember. Mr. Black. You are Mr. Black. Expert at prowling? Yes, yes, please make me expert in prowling, please. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. It takes a few moments to review your skills and demonstrate some new techniques. You are now an expert at prowling. Here, take this note. If you ever wish to become a master prowler, you will need to follow the clues in the note to locate the master trainer. Good luck, Mr. Dixon. I'm sure your newfound skills will impress the underground. Thank you. I have something you might be interested in. What have you got? I have the Nafa Waterman. Yes, we have been awaiting the arrival of that piece. Thank you for retrieving it for us. The underground is paying a finder's fee of 150 coin for it. Here you are, Mr. Dixon. Good work. Do I have something more? No. Okay, great. La 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 la. Well, at least we have managed to do something. Now, I left the guys around here to talk with that guard. Hey, you people! Dog.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to fight.
How can I help? It's about.
And
What is it
Virgil.
I'm ready.
Here we go. Stop talking with the guards, guys. Huh? Mr. Willoughby? Is that you? Yes. So, who are you, sir? Greetings, I am Edward Willoughby, businessman and chairman of the Tarantian Industrial Council. How might I be of service? Well met, Mr. Willoughby. Might I ask you a few questions? I'd be more than happy to speak with you, young man. I'm always eager to hear the thoughts and opinions of my constituents. Unfortunately, I have a pressing engagement just now. Will you stop by my offices in the City Hall in an hour or so and we can speak further? Okay, well... in the City Hall? Oh... hello? Greetings to you. So who are you? Well, I am Perryman Smith, recent graduate of the College of Phantasm, representative from Tula, City of Mages. Very nice to make your acquaintance, sir. Yours as well, so have you a moment? Certainly. What brings you to Tarant, Perryman? Nothing in particular, really. Just traveling and whatnot. I hadn't really seen anything beyond the walls of Tula before a few weeks ago. The young mage smiles a little sheepishly. You might say I've lived quite a sheltered life. Interesting. Tell me about Tula. What is it like? Tula? Oh, it's absolutely breathtaking. It is located deep within the oasis of mist, hidden for centuries from the outside world. The black windowless tower of Simeon Tor, encircled by of the stone mansions, I think there might be an error there, of the master mages, where they practice the oldest and most powerful magics. And what else? In the middle of the great courtyard is Pelojan's pool, where it's said that the spirit of the great conjurer still comes to watch over the apprentices. And in the early evenings, as the sun sets over the Vendigrot wastes, you can hear the haunting harmony of the soul singers as they weave melodies with their otherworldly counterparts. Where is Tula, Perryman? Tula? Sorry, my friend, I am under oath to never reveal that secret. Okay. Why did you leave Tula in the first place? Oh, I was sent to Tarant on a, how would you phrase it, a mission? I suppose you could call it. Master Simeon felt I was best qualified for the job, and so to Tarant I went, and I've just spent 2 weeks with Mr. Willowsby recovering from my mission. Quite an adventure, I must say. What happened? Well, here's a newspaper describing what happened as a result of the whole affair. I'd rather not get into the whole story, but I have been approached by a gentleman who seems very interested in writing a short book about what happened. Sir Chadwick Moore or some such, rather bothersome fellow, but he seemed rather insistent. I'll look for it. You mentioned a Master Simeon. Who is that? Master Simeon Tor? He's the greatest mage in all of Arcanum. As leader of the Tulan Assembly, it is his responsibility to oversee all that happens within the walls of Tula, and much of what happens without. He's a hard man, but fair, and extremely powerful. He's a master in the College of Summoning, and learned in many others as well. Huh. Okay. Oh, this sprawling master note. A clue to my location as surely as I live. Find me and mastery. To you I will give. Come to the place where old and new reign. Look for an inn. Here is a hint to its name. A room with no windows, no floor and no roof. The number 4 is where you will find proof. Okay. Train wreck at Vermilion Station? On Friday evening, the Brackenton line was derailed by magical influences, injuring numerous bystanders and passengers. The incident followed an attack on Councilman Edward Willowsby and the Tulan mage Perryman Smith by local bandits. Smith's retaliation led to the train wreck. Later that evening, Willowsby and Smith were accosted once again at the Willowsby mansion. Intervention by Smith and an unidentified gentleman led to the arrest of multiple individuals, one of them a powerful mage. Willowsby was uncharacteristically closed-mouthed about the affair. This was a private affair, and it has been dealt with in that manner, Smith said. He might spend some more time in the city, but plans to avoid Vermilion Station. Said Smith, dreadful affair. I'd rather forget the whole thing. This is sketchy. Whatever happened? You can take Perryman as a companion, but I don't think I will. He doesn't have anything to say to me. I'm not sure, but I think he will disappear from Willoughby House eventually. So I wonder, where would Mr. Willoughby be? Anarchist laborers take over factory. What? Don Throg has led a band of surly orcs to take over their place of employment, a factory at 1510 Hands Alley on the very edge of the warehouse district. At the present moment, Captain Wheeler is on the scene with his elite Tarantian guards. Throg won't escape this time, you can be certain of that, Captain Wheeler stated. He's a menace to our society, to our very way of life.